Hi everyone, welcome back to Warno and the April tournament. Today we have a new map. Yes, it's Two Lakes, one of the newer maps to the game. Nice change from seeing Death Row and Two Ways, coming into something completely different for the tournament scene, something new for tactics, something different for these 1v1s. So I'm expecting to see some interesting and new ways to play, especially on this map. Now today we have DarrickS and Hippie, both good players. Both have various links to things, so I'll make sure that they are linked below, probably both their YouTubes. And what I'd like to do before we get into it is have a look at the map itself, because I know I've covered this before in one of my videos about the patches and new maps and things, but just while we're here, let's have a quick whiz around it. So obviously, compared to when I originally looked at this map, these points are no longer cappable. You can just bring in units as you see fit. However, Delta and Echo remain cappable, so you can bring units in at both of those points if you cap them. This means there are only 4 cappable points on the map now, the 2 main ones being here, Alpha and Charlie. Now when it comes to Alpha and Charlie, Charlie is the one where there's a lot more open space in the grand scheme of things. Yes, you've got little tree lines and random buildings scattered around it with the town in the middle, but this is the big one. So you've got a big build up of buildings here, lots more trees, loads of trees here, and Alpha is always to me where most of the fighting will take place because of that, because it's easier to push into from any side. You've got lots of tree lines here, not as ideal as coming in from this side, but realistically Alpha is closer to this spawn anyway, so these people should be in it first. Up here again, Charlie closer to this spawn, so Hippie should be in it first, and then it's more of a challenge to get in. Hence, this is just the focal point for me, though I've played games where they've gone for Charlie as well. But let's get this show on the road. What I will note straight away before I hit play is DarrickS has an anti-airplane there. I'm not sure why. Maybe he can explain that one to me, and maybe it's going to do something interesting. So let me hit play, let me hide the panel, and let's have a look. So we've got command vehicle coming in for Hippie and command vehicle for DarrickS going straight for those side points, which just means that bringing stuff in is a little bit closer to Charlie and Alpha for each player on the side. Now, loads and loads of infantry coming in, some advanced scouts coming in for DarrickS there, lots of scouts coming in for Hippie as well, loads of scouts up here for Hippie. Hippie will be having the advantage over here, but realistically, as expected, most forces for both players perhaps are going here. That anti-airplane went for the chopper there. I assume that's what it was called out for, just to scout for choppers or early bombing runs. Has killed the chopper, but obviously the infantry survive because they haven't bothered to code the fact that they should die yet. That will continue to be a pet peeve for me until they fix it. Here we just see that one squad for DarrickS. I mean, DarrickS not interested in that at the moment. That's a point for him to worry about later. I do note that Hippie went straight in with a commander and is currently +3. Getting those early points may be beneficial. Building up a good defensive line here for DarrickS, including bringing in some nice tanks. M48 and a Leopard command. Bombers coming in there. HE bombers hitting the front of that town immediately. And that is going to be a mainstay of this map because you need to clear these towns. I'm expecting to see a lot of bombers coming in. I'm just having a quick scout around the map. So in terms of units from behind or getting behind enemy lines, mostly just the Special Alpha Clara up there, which belong to Hippie. Nothing at the bottom end of the map for DarrickS. DarrickS has a lovely long defensive line. Everything's nicely spread out here. Much more clustered obviously for Hippie. I mean, I kind of want to see DarrickS bring in an MW1 and hit these buildings. I'm sorry, Hippie. I know that would be devastating for you, but I just kind of want to see it. Over here, obviously, firm grasp. I do see that DarrickS is bringing in various units to sort of surround this point now. He's got a strong hold of this. Lots of transport vehicles being sold there. No shock. Just having a quick peek at ground level. Nothing too exciting going on at the moment. I think in that bombing run, pretty sure, or did he? The 1, 2, it's possible DarrickS lost one of his tanks. Oh no, it's down here. Look, there it is. He's just spread them out. That's alright. I knew there were 3, but I couldn't see the last one. DarrickS in pretty much firm control. Got a lot of fire support going in against these units. Hippie trying to push a little bit further forward. Those conkers going for those tanks. A little bit close. Conkers have a nice long range. Unfortunately, it's difficult to get a good range at this side of the map. A little bit easier over here because of the distance you've sort of got to work with. But here, everything's quite close together. Tanks are going to reign supreme against missile units. An anti-tank plane coming in there, and it is dead. Not sure what killed it, but we do have a Jeopard. We have a Roland there. So there's a few anti-air units. Didn't manage to kill that tank. I'm not sure. Didn't even scratch it. Wow. Didn't even scratch it. The missile missed. Over here, Hippie in a fairly good position in terms of holding on to that. Obviously, points are now neutralized. Bombers coming in. 4 bombers. This is the air spam from the 7th Panzer Division. Here it comes. All 4 HE bombers, all hitting here with 4 big bombs. They are not small. They're pretty big bombs. Just absolutely mincing those tanks. The air spam from the 7th Panzer is just insane. Sorry, Protoss, you can't really deny that it's pretty crazy. That said, of course, there are no anti-air units here. There is a Roland coming in now for DarrickS. It's an unfortunate loss, but that's the issue. If you are against the 7th Panzer Division, you cannot cluster your units. I like how spread out DarrickS is here, because it'll mean that even with all those bombers, unless Hippie picks and chooses his marks very carefully, he's not going to kill too much with each strike, which is to DarrickS' advantage. But I think DarrickS has seen now that there's a lot of bombers, and he's going to need to bring in more anti-air. Plenty of Flams there have managed to take out the special alcohol that were over there, and we're seeing a couple of tanks coming in for Hippie. Momotsuchin. In the grand scheme of things, I suppose what needs to happen right now is Hippie needs to push into Alpha at some point. He can't just sit here forever, he has to push. And he either pushes Alpha, the other option, which is potentially more difficult, is to push Delta. Now, there isn't anything really defending Delta. You could get a chopper around the back and kill that command vehicle. The issue he will have is that... Oh, no, that's just a lot of anti-air jets. I wonder what that was for a second. I thought he was bringing in something else. Thought it was going to be a couple of bombers, but no, just anti-air. But yes, you could take this out. I did just see he is calling in a Jeopard to protect that, though. So DarrickS is thinking ahead. There's ways and means to win on this map, and not necessarily pushing the difficult to take central point. I think DarrickS has enough units here that you couldn't easily push across the ground to get to Delta. It's going to be easy to defend. You're either pushing through this way, which he's already got defended, or you're pushing across open ground or down this road. Either way, all of this area is pretty easy to defend by calling in extra anti-tank units or tank units or infantry of any kind to fill this town. You know, there are ways and means to protect Delta. So it's a hard point to push on. And the same can be said almost for Echo. Echo is at a disadvantage here. This huge tree line goes all the way around, and it is possible, even with recon here, I think, to push units all the way around here, through this thin bit, all the way up here, without being seen. And what I will note is, do you see that Hippie has nothing in that forest line? Now, I'm not 100% on the recon ranges and whether they would see here. But realistically, I think you could push units around here. Not to mention, do you notice there's nothing here defending? That means you could bring choppers around and get into Echo. So don't underestimate the capability on this map of going round the back. It is possible. I don't necessarily think either of these players will do it in this match. It's feasible, but I'm not sure if they will. I feel like this could be a long one because these are two good players. I don't know if they're evenly matched, but they're certainly along those lines. It's not like we're seeing a new player versus DarrickS. We're seeing two relatively experienced players going against each other. Well, Seed plane coming in will be effective against these Jeopards. The weapons are on as well. Oof, risky business. They have missed that Jeopard though. Did they hit the other one? No, missed both its shots and is dead. Oof. Unexpected. Hippie bomber coming in now. I don't know what it's going for. Oh, it's veered off. Didn't drop its bombs. Is it just evacing? It's just evacing. He obviously thought twice about that. There is an anti-airplane in for Darrick. Interesting. Darrick calling in a lot of infantry there. This could be the start of a potential push. However, Hippie has now, as if he has heard me, even though he is in the past, has moved Panzerjäger into that forest, so you can see what's coming. I did wonder why he was leaving that empty. It's risky business to leave that empty, because Echo is wide open. He has nothing defending that. You'll note that Darrick did move his command vehicle over with the Jeopard away from this edge. Very sensible, because if you do get anything landing here and running around the back, very easy to get in there. Hippie bomber came in, dropping on the other end of the town because Darrick is making a push now. And I will note that realistically, Hippie doesn't have a lot defending here. He's got the Flams, which are not a good unit. Unless they've significantly changed those flamethrowers, they are going to be absolutely useless at firing from building to building. He's got some anti-air there, he's got the commander, and he's got a Shilka. He is completely outnumbered here. Darrick is absolutely going to smash through this point. I didn't realise how little Hippie actually had in there. Oh, wow. I'm just looking to see if he's bringing anything else in. Just some Motsuchin. That's not going to be enough. Darrick's coming in to cover this side so he can potentially shoot units that come in. I was going to say he's going to be relying on bombers. There's an anti-tank plane coming in, but has veered off. Is taking fire from the anti-air units. Seed coming in now. Missed its first shot, missed its second, and it's dead. Darrick lost one of his AA planes as well, but oof. That one's dead as well. That one didn't even need to be over there. And that one's dead as well. He lost another anti-air plane. Ouch. That was a big loss of air units for both players. Just looking to see what's coming in. Obviously, he's got all these Motsuchin come in. But I just don't think that's going to be enough. Loads of Pioneer armbusts coming in. More tanks coming in. A jet coming in there. That's Seed. Has managed to kill something this time. The amount of air spam that the 7th Panzer Division has is just crazy. How many seaplanes is that? That's the third one. He's lost at least 2. Leopards being used as additional fire support against all of these units that have come in. That one has taken some damage. That was an anti-tank plane coming in. That one's dead as well. Darrick bringing in a command infantry. Oh no, command vehicle. To neutralize this point. Is Hippie making a move at this side? Potentially. I think he'll have a harder time. Darrick is better positioned for defending. He's quite spread out. But that said, realistically, he doesn't have that much there, does he? I mean, he has all these units. He could pull those across into the town. Which I think he will have to do. Because he's only got Zisharungs here. They don't have anti-tank. He was relying on his tanks that were there, but the tanks are dead. There's a Leopard 2A3 there. Seed plane. Attacking the AA plane. Staying behind the AA plane. Are they shooting at each other? That's fired into the seed, and it has killed that. That AA plane not doing very well. Enemy AA coming in to deal with it now. I think he could lose that. F-104. Yep, dead. DarrickS having a little scout with those fucks. Using them to kill the choppers, not a bad idea with their little machine guns. Look at all these bombers coming in now. Most of them dropping on those fucks. Some of them pushing onto the town. Lost at least one. Down here, Hippie's little push. Not going spectacularly, I've got to admit. There's all the reinforcements being called in. He hasn't pulled these units across, surprisingly. He is pulling Sicherungs across. Sicherungs, just, they're great against infantry, but with a lack of anti-tank, they're no use at all against vehicles. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. What else is happening here? That Alouette. Oh. This is why you have to zoom out sometimes. Darrick got his Alouette all the way over here. Flew over this point, has spotted the command vehicle in Echo, knows exactly where it is. Expect to see some choppers or something, or a bomber or something fly over here and kill that now. I mean, I'd be considering sending chopper infantry if I had any to go and cap that point. Kill that. Put some infantry in there. But that's the game. Total victory for Darrick. Was that a surrender by Hippie, I think? I think he must have surrendered. The points didn't go up that fast. Okay, that was very sudden. Alright. So, victory to Darrick. Well done to both players. That was a heck of a fight. And some very different play style than I was expecting, to be honest. I was expecting a lot more fighting over Alpha. I was expecting a lot more bombing runs on Alpha, to be honest. But most of the fighting actually took part at Charlie at the other side. So, interesting. No standout units, just looking at it. I think Shilka got the most kills there, but nothing too stand out. That's interesting. Let's hop into the second game. I'm curious how it plays out knowing what these two just did there. Welcome to the second game of this matchup. Hippie versus Darrick. Hippie now playing as the 8th Infantry Division. Still on the right hand side. And on the left hand side we still have Darrick playing as his 5th Panzer Division. So, very similar strategy to last time. Hippie going for Charlie with maybe a few more defensive units this time, and Darrick going heavily towards Alpha. Both have immediately capped Echo and Delta respectively. Defensive unit going straight for Delta. Looks spotting over there. Just a few recon units for Darrick, just to see if he pushes out of Charlie towards Delta, I assume. Over in Echo, absolutely no defensive units. Now, has Darrick learnt from last time? Does he realise that is the case? Will he be bringing something in to kill that CV? I do see a cluster coming in, but it's going to drop here, killing that Bradley. Good choice. Get in early, kill the Bradleys. Bradley's exceptionally good recon unit, great anti-tank, it's basically a great all-round unit. Probably one of the best units in the game. If you can kill that early, kill it early before someone brings in air defense. So nothing in Echo. Couple of air defense units. I think one is staying in Delta. The other one's probably going to the front. Still not a huge amount of units in here for Hippie. I hope he's going to reinforce it a bit more than last time. Not a huge amount of units here either. I think that the 8th Infantry for Hippie, the units just cost a bit more. So he doesn't have quite as many as last time. Both players making good use of those transports you can sell. Alouette coming in again for this side of the map. So Bradley opening up on. Tank. Oh, it's going for that vehicle, I think, but it's the quiet before the storm, people. The quiet before the storm. Loads of Zishurungs coming in there. And a couple of M48s, I assume, heading here for defensive purposes. I'm really curious to see how these guys set up this time. Obviously, point advantage to DarrickS at the moment, but it's about to swing into neutral because Hippie's about to put that in there. Grenadiers coming in at that side. Leopard 2A3 coming in. Pivad's being put in front of Echo by the looks of it. And a military police, unless they're going to go across there and then up. Which may well be the case. They are going down a little road. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Oh, I so want to see DarrickS come around and kill that command vehicle. He surely knows that it's there and probably doesn't have anything defending it. I don't know. I kind of want to see someone go around the back and kill the CVs. Obviously, a helo rush early game isn't really appropriate, but getting a single squad of recon infantry in there to kill it, that seems reasonable. Bombing it 10 minutes in, pretty reasonable. It's not as if you're taking out the one in the base. It's kind of negated helo rushes to some extent. Alfkel coming in. Jeopard's firing at that infantry there. Oh, that's been taken out. It wasn't. Maybe it wasn't the Jeopard firing at them. I think that might have been the Lux. Dead Bradley. Overextending the Bradleys without air defense there is a bit risky. Tornado IDS not evacing is going to get shot at. Oh, it has evac now. Some jets not evacing properly. It is a bit of a concern. Oh, mortars being rolled out for Hippie now. Not something we've seen a lot of in these tournament games. On and off, but not a significant amount. Interesting choice. Obviously planning to try and soften up this town a bit. Mixed feelings about their usefulness in a town. He'd be better off with lots of bombers, but he's not 7th Panzer Division anymore. Jaeger there for Hippie. This point is empty again. I'm really worried about that point. I know he's kind of spread out quite far, which isn't a bad thing. That's an MW1 coming in. There's a Raven there. Jeopard's weapon may have been turned off. That's taking some damage. That is a lot of incoming fire. I'm impressed that survived. That was a lot of fire. Alouette just sitting there, still nothing defending Echo. A couple more units at this side for Hippie this time. Still very worried about Charlie. I mean, Hippie is doing a good job at keeping DarrickS away from Charlie by having these very forward positions. It sort of means that DarrickS isn't getting quite as close, but at the same time, DarrickS just built up forces here last time and then eventually pushed in. And you can see he's doing the same again. 3 tanks being called in, tanks here, anti-air here, infantry here, just slowly building up forces in that area. Here, once again, a long defensive line. Bomber coming in for Hippie now. I assume going to drop over there. Kill those infantry coming in, perhaps. Very effective. Killed most of the infantry. Tanks being moved forward to try and fire on those enemy infantry as well. Alouette just sat there really wondering why DarrickS hasn't gone for the ballsy move of killing that CV. Loads of stingers coming in. Still very good anti-air units. Not to be underestimated even after the adjustments. You get Alpha at the front here now. So they do have some anti-tank. M1A1 Abrams though, providing fire support, doing a bit of damage. Not a lot though. They've only lost one unit. IDS cluster coming in. Very effective. Huge amount of damage done. That plane still not evacing though. Gonna fly back over the air defense. There it goes. Spag. Brrr. Dead. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Would have got in and out if it had evac'd immediately. It's such a weird thing in this game. I don't know if it's a setting that some people have or if it's just buggy at the moment. But yeah. Evac Winchester should be on for everything. It's too risky otherwise. Here's the mortar spam. Mortars doing some damage to the infantry. That's pretty good actually. Flatten the building, doing damage to the infantry, now firing on these guys. You know, they have definitely changed and improved mortars since this game was first released. They are doing a bit more damage, they are flattening buildings easier. Thunderbolt coming in here, chugging along, super slow. It looks like a prop plane, look at it. It's got so much armor, but look at it. How slow is that thing? Hang on a minute, I'm just... Yeah, it is speed ×1. I just had to double check on my panel there. That was going so slow, I was worried that I was at like 50% speed or something. It's bizarre. I don't remember them being that slow. Mortars here, tank. Smattering of reinforcements. I'd be reinforcing that more if I could. I think realistically, I'd be focusing on holding this rather than trying to push this. To push this, you're going to need bombers and artillery. I mean, I'd just be flattening this town, destroying all these buildings, multiple rocket launchers, any artillery pieces you have, just destroy the buildings, push his forces back. Another Thunderbolt. Look at how slow it's going. Have they changed it? Genuinely, I am really confused by that right now. It's just like lazily flying around the map. Chilling out. I know it's heavily armoured, but that's ridiculous. Sure, it's supposed to be faster than that. Continuous mortar fire. Anything happening over here? No. Seed plane coming in. Missed its target. Thunderbolt thinking about it. Raven coming back around for another shot. And it got its target. It was still turned on. Not seeing a lot of turning on and off of air defences in these games so far. Something that's very common in Wargame Red Dragon. Thunderbolt has killed something. Look at it go, it's so slow. It's evacing now. It's still managing to get shots off and stuff, even though it's evacing. So DarrickS is making a push with not as many units this time. Very good use of that F11F. Another one coming in. Hippie putting up a great defense this time. Much more effective than last time. Not as many units pushing in for DarrickS. Slightly more defenders for Hippie. Good use of those bombers. AA planes for DarrickS. Scaring off the bombers. Doing a bit of damage, but not as effective as last time, I don't think, with the anti-air for DarrickS. Looks like he's struggling a bit more. A couple of mortars here, just trying to hit the advancing troops. Another jet going down there. Ooh, hello. Lux and some Panzer Grenadiers slowly pushing around. We could be seeing them push all the way around to get into Echo. I'm not sure. We'll keep an eye on those. Some Pioneer Flams as well. Raven coming in again. Taking out. Oh, it's dead, but it did kill at least one Jeopard. Tornado IDS MW1, really effective against infantry in buildings. Not sure if it killed too many there though. Certainly didn't hit these stingers. I'd be pulling those stingers back right now. They're nothing special. There's only 2 units. The IDS cluster coming in and getting shot down. What did it hit? I'm not even sure what it dropped on. 2 Cobras there. Very effective against all these tanks. Jeopard is being pulled forward to try and cover them. Down here in the town. Look at that. Loads of tanks in the field. That's actually quite a nice screenshot. Let's just print screen that. Sorry for the brief moment of lag while it print screens. It's just quite a nice shot. I like that. Save that for later. That can be the screenshot that's going to be on the thumbnail for this video. Mech rifles coming in to reinforce this point. DarrickS is in the point though. I didn't think he was going to make it in. I thought those bombers would have put him off. That's the only remaining air defense dead. Does DarrickS have any more coming in? There is a Roland. And does Hippie have an answer to that lack of air defense? Does he have a load more bombers ready to go? I think probably not. Here we go. Panzer Grenadiers. They've killed something there, so does Hippie know they're there? I'm not sure. Oh, they're coming around the back. I honestly thought he would be going for that mutt. Here's the Alouette going in to scout for it. Abrams coming in, more infantry coming in, loads more reinforcements still coming in, including a command tank for DarrickS. They're moving into Charlie. Bringing in bringing in AA planes to take out the TOW Cobras, not a bad idea. It feels like a bit of a last resort since he doesn't have anything else there at the moment. Hippie putting up a really good fight this time. Obviously equally a lot less units here. And is now being surrounded by DarrickS. Alouette really close to this top end. Here comes the F-11F bomber. Where's it going? Let's have a look. Dropping across the middle of the town. Really effective, but actually killed his... Oh no, 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 no. I was going to say killed one of his own squads, but I think that was the MW1 that might have killed his squad, because that dropped here. Both players using a lot of bombers now. Raven in there, but will be shot at by those Roland 2s, which are not radar. Loads of military police coming in here. Will be very effective against the tanks, which DarrickS has brought in. DarrickS calling in loads of reinforcements, and this is what I was expecting to see, but probably more in Alpha, to be honest. We're now seeing in Charlie what I expect to happen in Alpha, which is a huge city fight. We're just going to be seeing loads of artillery, we're going to be seeing loads of bombers, we're seeing loads of infantry randomly called in just to basically mash against each other. Leopard's in a good position there, the Ambrus in a reasonable position, but are heavily outnumbered now. DarrickS still waiting for more reinforcements to come. Alouette looking for that CV. 2 Cobras coming in again. These guys with all the rockets will be very effective against infantry. Some vehicles can probably suppress a tank. TOW Cobra could really do with being rearmed. It is out of TOW missiles, which are the important thing there. Attack marker down on that CV. DarrickS pulling that chopper back out. Panzer Grenadiers being put into a sort of defensive position, potentially to shoot any incoming stuff, though they are out of Panzerfaust. Oh wow, I think they killed... Yeah. So they have managed to kill all of the mortars that are at this side of the map. I wondered if that's what they were going around the back for. Really well done. Replacement CV coming in for Hippie to go to Charlie. That command tank seemingly also been destroyed, or never arrived in Charlie. Still plus 3 points currently to Darrick. I'm just taking it all in. This is turning into quite a long game. As I say, two really good players fighting against each other. It's kind of changed up this time quite a lot. And it's this back and forth as reinforcements arrive. So we had all the reinforcements arrive for Hippie. Now we've got all the reinforcements arriving for Darrick. Then we're going to have more reinforcements arriving for Hippie. Then we're going to have more reinforcements arriving for Darrick. And it's going to be this back and forth. MW1 coming in. Dropped his payload in the middle. Done some damage, but still these guys at the front surviving. Command vehicle in once again for Hippie. This point is now in his favour, which means that the entire thing will be neutralised, so it'll be 0-0 again. Though Darrick remains ahead. Darrick getting good eyes on by having these units behind. What is going on here? What is HE2? Unguided bombs. What is that? I think he dropped that, but missed. Is that the bomber that drops early? It like drops its bombs too short. I think that might be that one. Yeah. So I think he targeted it, but it drops short. So you actually have to target behind or ahead of the unit you want. No, behind the unit you want, because you're attacking the enemy. Yeah. He's sending the chopper back in because he's wondered if it moved. No, Darrick. It was just that the bombs dropped incorrectly. Oh. Once again, the reinforcements for Darrick pushed out the reinforcements for Hippie. Now the reinforcements for Hippie have arrived. Engineers, flash, and mech rifles. They're going to push and kill all the stuff from Darrick. And this is that back and forth, which I expected to see. I'm just kind of surprised it's happening in Charlie. I just genuinely expected it to happen in Alpha. But I think there's such a strong defensive line from Darrick here. Without, say, the 7th Panzer Division to airspan, or having a lot of MRLS artillery, I think it's very difficult to push into Alpha. Because you have to have something that scares your opponent into pushing their forces back. Alouette just sat there. Not a care in the world. Hippie obviously still hasn't noticed it. Kiowa getting some shots off at those tanks at the back. Very good unit. Nice Hellfire missiles. So once again, Hippie pushing in here. There is command coming in now for Darrick as well. So he's back to +3. It's a slugging match for points at the moment. I mean, I can't help but feel, realistically, Hippie is on the back foot because he can't contest Alpha. Everything is going on here. Darrick making good use of resupplies. Hippie, I think, also has some over here. Yeah, he's probably resupplying his choppers as they go. CEV coming in will be very effective against the infantry. Kiowa scaring off the tanks, though that was a Hellfire missile just fired at a transport vehicle that was empty. That's an expensive missile to fire at an empty transport, I've got to admit. One being fired there at the Fox, probably more worthwhile because at least it has a weapon on top, but that is now out of missiles. Such a shame because they're so effective. Bombing run coming in, F11F, and a second one, F11F. Need to be careful because they're sort of catching the end of his own units. Darrick's splitting off to the two sides, so lost anything in the middle, but still has a lot of units there. And this is back to that point that I was saying, Hippie brought in all his stuff and pushed Darrick out. Now DarrickS brought in all his stuff and will possibly push Hippie out. So Raven came in there. Thunderbolt coming in again, taking out that Roland too. Roland reloading. We'll like to get a shot on that, I'm sure. Piney is just charging at the enemy, throwing their satchel charges left, right and centre. Will be doing a very good amount of damage. And you'll notice that we're seeing that pushback once again. Darrick pushing into the point, killing all of the stuff that's there. And then shortly we will see a load of reinforcements. There we go. Jaegers arriving from Hippie, who will then likely push Darrick back. Not a lot happening here. Here. Oh. TCP Fuchs getting all the way here and engaging that CV along with... How did they get all the way over there? They're not amphibious. There's no amphibious stuff in the game yet. They must have gone down this road or through the forest. I didn't even see that. Must have gone straight through the forest. Fighting Falcon taking something out there. MW1 coming in. Dropping at that back. Yes, okay. So that's just the CEVs remaining now of that reinforcement. But then we've got the Jaegers coming in. Darrick just pushed back the 50% mark. Darrick is +5 because he's destroyed that point. And he has a few units in there now. And is bringing in more. Hippie's in trouble. I think he'd have to expend resources to recap this now. And I don't think they're resources he can afford to not put into this point. All those Jaegers getting out now. We'll be pushing in to do some damage here. Going up against Grenadiers. And also a Leopard that's going to be firing in from the side. Thunderbolt coming in. We'll be going for that Leopard, I'm sure. Super effective. Also now going for that Roland. Roland dead. Thunderbolt evacing. Damaged, but surviving. Roland's reloading. Jaegers will be doing a good job of pushing back against these Grenadiers. The Grenadiers obviously already damaged. Good use of an MW1 has killed one squad of Jaeger. Limited damage to any of the others though. I think it missed. Abrams coming in. CEV coming in. Remaining on +5 points Darrick. Looks like this will be a Darrick win again. Very well played to both players. Really good pushbacks from Hippie in this point though. Just a shame he didn't have anything defending Echo. And that's something you see sometimes in this game. Compared to Wargame, people not putting a unit or two to defend their CV. Obviously, Darrick not falling into that trap. Did have the Jeopard there just in case. Just scares off any choppers that come in. Obviously not going to be super effective versus any ground troops. Obviously, but you know, it will kill some infantry at a range. Tanks coming in for Hippie now to try and reinforce this point. Jaeger just holding there. Still +5 for Darrick. Hippie really needed to be in control of this point, or needs to be able to get back in there, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I think he'd need a couple of tanks potentially, or certainly recon, see where the infantry are. I think it's not looking good. Hippie still putting up a good fight though, pushing hard back into this area. More reinforcements. Zisharung's coming in for DarrickS just to reinforce this point. Both players must be running semi-low on what they can call in now. They've both called in a lot. Command infantry coming in there. I wonder where they're going. Are they going to stay here, or is he thinking that he might even cap that point and increase his earnings to +7? I'm not sure. We'll have to see where they go. Cobra and a CV coming in for Hippie. Now, interestingly, to be fair, there's no anti-air down here for Darrick. So the Cobra will be very effective as long as it doesn't get too close. But the problem is, it's not a recon unit. It won't be able to see stuff till it gets a lot closer. And that CV is going to get killed by something. So I like the thought, though. Cobra, good choice. But not going to be able to see very much is the issue. Lining up to fire at that chopper which has landed. It is out of fuel. Has killed it. CV is in, but that is game. Victory to Darrick. Commiserations to Hippie. Reasonably close in terms of kills and losses. Obviously Darrick a bit ahead there. I think Hippie had a hard time because Alpha is very easy to build up a lot of forces in, and you really do need a lot of artillery to attack it, or a lot of planes. You have to be able to destroy all those buildings and all the infantry in them. But really well played. I really loved the back and forth over Charlie in that game, and I'm expecting we'll see more of that. It's interesting because in my head it was always going to be Alpha where the fighting point was, but it was the opposite side. So I wonder if that's going to play out in some of the other games as well. I'm curious to see where it goes, because initially when I've played it, it has been Alpha where a lot of the fighting is taking place, but perhaps that's shifted with the patches and things. So watch this space. Standout units, the Thunderbolt did a good job, the other bomber, and on the other side Leopard 105, Panzer Grenadiers did a good job, Leopard 2A3 obviously as you would expect. But two really good games from two experienced players on a new map, showing us that the tactics have changed yet again for these 1v1 tournaments. It's nice to see something different. Stay tuned for the rest of round 2, which will be over the next week or so. Obviously, also check out the SD League channel on YouTube, as Protoss will also be covering some of these games, and we will at some point, as I say, try and cover some together. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. Please like, share and subscribe as always, and I will see you soon for some more Warno.